Hey guys, crew of Blind Wave here. I'm Shane.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Eric.
And welcome to our third podcast.
Ooh-wee. He didn't mess up at all.
Not at all. Wait till 20 seconds in.
Now what?
Hey, shit, fuck, I don't know!
What are we talking about today, boys?
I'll tell you what. One thing I wanted to bring up was this.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever wiped your ass with baby wipes?
Absolutely. I prefer it.
Yeah, same here.
I used to not be able to use toilet paper.
What do you mean?
What? Like if I was ever out or anywhere, I would never use toilets. I would always wait till I went home and could use baby wipes.
I took the flushable wipes with me on vacation.
I would,
But you know what happens? I forget about it. I'll run out. I'm like, shit, I get some more, and then I have toilet paper left over from when I wasn't using it, and I'll just use that for a while. And I'm like, shit, I forgot about these. When I go to the store.
Would you guys ever get shit on your hand and just wipe it off and go, hey, I'm done. That's clean.
Wipe shit off of my
Then why
hand?
would you have shit in your asshole, wipe it off, and go, you know what, my asshole's clean?
So what you're saying is you wipe, there's shit on your hand, and you're done? What are you talking about?
No, what I'm saying is...
he's referring to, have you ever gotten crap on your hand and then you wipe it off and you're just like, well, that's good enough.
What do you mean wipe it off?
And he's comparing your hand to your butt. Like if you just wipe your hand, if there's crap on your hand, you just wipe it off.
No.
Are you done?
I don't eat with my ass. I eat with my hands.
But he's saying so is wiping your butt?
If you got shit on your leg, would you just wipe it off with toilet paper? If I got shit on me anyway, I'd wash off with soap and water.
It depends how much shit and what consistency the shit
Why
is
is your asshole this zone where it's like, you know what? I just need to wipe it off with a dry.
Because I'm not presenting my asshole to people. I mean,
well, I'm just I actually use toilet paper probably. Sounds like I use toilet paper the most out of all you guys. But that's
not correct. You can't take that one instance of shit on a leg and compare that with our use of toilet paper in general.
I'm just saying.
I use a lot of toilet paper too.
I'm saying, I've been doing a lot of soul searching.
Sure.
Okay.
And thinking about why the hell don't I use wipes? It's so much cleaner.
I used to, and I feel like it made your butt feel much better than just toilet paper. You know what I mean?
It's fresh.
Yeah. And like I said, I used to.
I wipe my ass on one of the wipes. I'm good to go.
I all the way up until probably into high school. That's all I would use. Probably in high school I changed. Probably into high school I changed.
So you didn't shit anywhere?
No, I didn't. Even at my grandma's, I wouldn't crap it. I'd wait.
Well,
unless I absolutely had to.
What if you're camping?
And if we went
for a weekend?
I didn't go camping. Why the fuck would I do that?
Okay, well, what if you have friends' house?
If I went to
video games, why would you go camping?
If I went to vacation, that kind of stuff, I took wipes with me. I remember my cousins making fun of me because I had wipes and I didn't want to use toilet papers, and I'd go and carry wipes in from the car. And like, what's that? Huh? Baby, your baby gotta wipe your butt. I'm like, it just feels better.
You start kicking you down?
No, that's
I bet you if someone smelled their assholes, they're dirty and yours are clean.
Yeah, right? I got a nice clean asshole.
So if that ever happened, you'd be good.
I feel like using toilet paper, though, it's a dirtier feeling.
I'll tell you what I do, though.
But it's cheaper.
No, I go the first wave of attack is toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then I finish up with a wipe.
No, that's probably the best.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's when I had the option, I'd do that. But then I also finish off with toilet paper to dry it.
No, I like
the antibacterial, the wipe is meant to stay on there and actually cleanse as it dries.
What about this, though?
I do like that idea, though, because if you just use wipes, you might use 2 wipes maybe to wipe.
Right.
And they're more expensive.
And you're
Use
saving.
the cheaper stuff to get rid of that gunked up stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And use the one to freshen.
Baby.
That's a good idea.
Now, here's the thing.
I'm going to start doing that again.
Do that. But sometimes I would use toilet paper, right? And then, if I didn't have wipes available, I would just go another round, make sure there's no spots, I'm good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would do that and then finish off with a wipe, and then the wipe has these little pieces of white shit on them that the toilet paper rubbed off on my asshole. So I'm thinking, if I didn't have these wipes, I wouldn't have known this was here.
You could have got infected.
How often has this happened in my life? I didn't know there's white pieces of shit on my asshole.
White pieces of shit.
You mean white toilet paper.
Toilet paper rollies.
Like lint.
Little
rollies. I hate those things.
I'm just saying, I don't know that those are there unless I wipe with the wipe.
It's like lint, right?
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, if
You've
you
been living wrong.
If you didn't have a nose, you wouldn't be able to smell anything. You wouldn't know there's such a thing as an odor. I didn't know that those things were down there until the wipe.
It's not like when you wipe and part of the toilet paper rips and is stuck and you know it's there.
Yeah.
These are like little itty bitty motherfuckers.
Like when one of those things leave because I take a shower. There's not got to my feet or anything. I'm not floating around the bathtub. Take a bath. Where do those things go?
You take baths all the time, so you're floating around in your
They
own
probably dry
white
up and
shit.
slough off with your skin cells and shit.
I was taking a bath the other day. I'm taking shit. There's probably some shit in my asshole, dry, crusty shit from yesterday.
You don't wipe?
Now it's
It's
You-
not.
No,
mean,
I don't wipe it with a baby wipe.
That's comparable to like when you flush a toilet and there's shit in the air. I don't care.
No, but you're not laying in the
People are
water.
like, there's shit all over the air.
That's why I
funny.
shit and I run out real quick, close the door, and after like 10 minutes I go back wash my
Yeah, but
hands.
what about like your toothbrush and stuff and getting all that shit
I don't keep my toothbrush in there.
in the
I
bathroom?
keep in a plastic bag in my little brown leather shaving kit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just no,
Crazy.
It's crazy, man.
So
Yeah.
basically, every
Something
surface.
people are trying to hide do.
What?
Yeah,
So,
right.
That's something that people that's something to hide do.
Have you ever been taking a shit for a long time, and then you shit and it drops.
Yeah.
You know it dropped into the water, splashing your butt cheeks, and then you wipe, and then you realize there's a fucking piece hanging there, and when you wipe, it's that piece that's still hanging from your asshole.
Yeah.
Is a lot of it. So when you wipe, it smears, and
Yeah.
you're like thinking, "Ah, shit, now I'm gonna be here all damn day."
I don't ever had that happen though.
You never wiped your ass, and there's
I've had like to where the bit that I thought was
like I've
dropping
had
off.
shoveling out of my asshole, basically. That's what I'm talking about. You think
I've never done that.
and you just keep pushing,
I've
and it
done
won't
it.
come out. So then you
I've
then you wipe, and you realize there's a fucking shit ton down there. All right, so you're like trying to
I'm
like,
trying to like use gravity to make it like drop off.
just spread your ass
Like,
cheeks apart more.
You're jumping up and down on the toilet seat trying
You're
to make
sitting
it
there,
fall.
like, yeah, you're trying to spread your ass out more so the shit drops and won't. You wipe, and you realize you gotta fucking
You gotta become a mathematician.
you gotta do the shock in your asshole.
You gotta
Make,
become,
you know what I mean?
you gotta become a mathematician and work it out with the
You gotta put two fingers together like you're trying to hit a G spot.
Work it out with a pencil. Is that what you just
like a
fucking
mathematician. You gotta work it out with
said?
a pencil.
Oh my god.
You gotta get something up in there and get it out of there.
Hey, I got a shit related one. Okay. Here's a question.
This is gonna be a really tasty podcast.
Wait, no one's gonna be hungry
Ruin it
now.
No.
Last time everyone was hungry.
yeah.
They're not hungry now.
Yeah.
No, they're not hungry this time. Don't eat while you're watching. Listen. Okay, so you ever have that moment where like I have to shit really bad, like this is gonna be a big shit. And
You know me, I used to all the time.
I'm just saying when you sit down and you realize it's gonna be a big shit. Do you ever get excited?
No.
Like sometimes I sit down, I'm like, holy crap, this is gonna be a really big shit, and I feel like coming down.
You're excited.
I'm almost like it's like some kind of in my brain, some kind of reward system is saying like, good job, buddy.
Yeah, you're excited about the release
Yeah.
on your prostate.
I don't, it's the excitement is
What?
I've gotten angry because like I sit down like
You have angry shits?
like I'll sit down and be like, oh, I'm gonna just be real quick, and I'm not, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't bring nothing to do, you know,
That always happens
I'd
to
never
me.
do that.
you know, like fuck, I wish I had my DS
Yeah.
or a,
You need more
Oh.
fiber in your diet then. Because when I take a shit, I shit probably almost 3 times a day, and I sit down, and it just comes out in like a minute or less. A lot.
that's usually what happens. I'm talking about when it's gonna be a big one, and I'm like there.
My
waiting,
big
trying to
ones
get
are
it
like a
out.
minute or less. My big ones are the ones that just take forever to wipe. And at that time, I have one hand anyways.
I just make all of them big ones. Like even if I don't shit that much, I still stay an extra 5 minutes or so. Look at
Just to be sure.
Finish
I
my
shit until my
article.
bowels are clean. I'm
Well,
scooping
all
the
people do. I'm just saying, like sometimes my bowels are clean much sooner than the article I'm reading is long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They hang out for a little bit. But I hear that's how you get anal fissures.
What's that?
Fishers?
Fissures. Is that how you
What,
say it?
by just sitting on the toilet.
Like just by sitting on the toilet and having your butt fucking spread for too long, you can like get little tiny rips in your asshole. And apparently they're like one of the most painful things in the
Wait,
world.
like
Seriously?
Like the skin.
Like the
was-
shit
Yeah.
coming out of your asshole doesn't cause the fissures?
No, it's
get
like
what you mean,
it's the like. So there's some people that like stay on the fucking toilet for like an hour reading and shit because they just like it. But with your butt just like fucking spread out
Because the toilet seat,
because the
it, like,
toilet seat and
it, like pulls
and
up
you're going
and
in
around.
and your asshole, which is usually like this, is now like this. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you're gonna
I've never felt like my
You know what I'm saying?
asshole was that.
Yeah, I don't sit like that.
It's only whenever it's extended time, right? Is what they said.
Okay.
I guess.
You know,
I mean, I don't sit to where my ass is being pulled apart.
It depends. It depends how big of a shit I needed. Sometimes you need some extra room.
I mean, I had times I'm like, dang, this isn't working, and I know I wiggle a little bit to like let my cheeks get more on there, but that's not how I initially just sit down and
Yeah.
shit.
And especially if I'm gonna be there a while, I like reposition to where it's more like a chair.
Yeah.
Because after a while, if I'm sitting in the wrong position, is like my legs go to sleep like insanely quick if I don't sit in the right way.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had my legs just go to sleep.
On the toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
my legs
Mine
go to
don't.
sleep.
That's
Like
never
my
happened to
my
me.
feet.
Never.
Like my feet.
I'm laying there in bed, my left leg touches my left leg with all varicose veins. I'll start going to sleep. Like, fuck, I have terrible circulation. It's going to get cut off.
While laying in bed?
Yeah, I do.
Hell,
But it's
dang.
never happened to me on the toilet.
See, sitting down I
Shit.
understand because it's cutting off from like
Yeah.
your legs, but like just laying in bed you shouldn't have any cut off.
You would figure.
Yeah.
I got these little pool of lumps developing.
Pool of
Dude.
lumps.
Let's go.
You can-
shit.
You can die from that.
I know. I got ultrasound like 6 months ago, and they said I shouldn't have a problem for a decade. So like, there's no need to get surgery. I'm like, shit, I would live with these things?
But if you're getting lumps, then you're getting...
You would think.
Ugh.
You would think. And they said I'm fine.
I don't like you touching them.
Yeah, leave him the fuck alone.
I just want to see you touch it.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
You touch him, you're gonna die.
I just imagine them like you pressing onto them and they like go.
For those listening, I have terrible varicose veins on my left leg.
Yeah.
It's a combination of nature and nurture, and they said it was physically induced.
See, his face will stay young because he's Asian, but his legs are
Left leg.
His legs are as old as like
Grease doesn't help that.
60-year-old woman.
Grease don't do anything there.
No.
Well, you know the proper way to shit is actually
Squatting.
Squatting.
Yeah.
squatting. And,
Yeah.
Like with your feet up on the seat of the toilet.
That's why they
You know
have
what?
the unicorn seat thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
The
You know
squatty
what?
potty.
I've
Yeah.
never.
Have you guys seen the
I've
squatty
never
potty?
shit squatting.
I have out in the woods.
Except like, I was probably a baby. I squat when I did that.
But it was so uncomfortable because I was trying to make sure that I wasn't
it'd be
shitting
fun.
in my pants.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I was like, I dug my heels into a tree, into like the ground, and I was like leaning up against a tree, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't shit in my pants. And I had to clean it out. It was terrible.
The only way squatting works really is if you just don't have anything on your bottom half.
Yeah.
Oh,
you have to take your pants off to do it.
You
right.
know what? I take that back. I did. I shat in the cornfield after football practice.
These corn husks.
In Lowell, I did it.
You shat where there's a bunch of shit laying around anyway?
Low is a heart
Okay.
of darkness.
Yeah.
Lower Salem was the elementary school I went to. It was really, really small in the country. We didn't have our own football team, so we had to go to where the next school in our district had a football team, and it was Lowell. So not only did we go to school, then we had to drive to Lowell and back every night, you know?
Fuck Lowell.
It was terrible. But that's where we had from 4th to 6th grade football practice, and there was no bathroom. It was on the island in Lowell, you know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
there was no bathroom we could use, so we had to go piss.
That was before they put on all the facilities.
We had to go piss in the cornfield right beside where we practiced, right?
Yeah.
But no one ever shit there. But one time we were waiting for Mitch Faust's mom to pick us up because between Mitch and me, like every other day,
So you're pissing in this
our mom.
cornfield.
so we're just pissing in this cornfield. Kids you can't see other people, but they're like 5 feet away. You know what I'm saying? You just hear piss because the cornfield's
That's
really
just
high.
terrible.
That's
But
worse
I
than,
had
like,
to shit so bad. I think it was in 5th grade. I went to the cornfield to shit.
So there's untreated sewage in this fucking cornfield.
And I know, you know that thing you're talking about, maybe getting shit in your, I got,
Yeah.
I think I got a little tiny bit of shit in my football pants, like where the pads are and shit.
So you rubbed dirt on yourself afterwards.
So I cleaned it myself as much as I could with the corn stalks available to me. And then I had to get in Mitch Faust's mom's car, and I smelled the shit. So if I smelled the shit, I know they could smell shit. And no one said anything, and it's never come up, and I forgot about it until just now.
And then you stop talking to the whole family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys ever have you guys ever snuck to the bathroom at night and then you don't want to wake anybody up? So you don't flush so it doesn't wake anybody up?
Never happened to
Fuck
me.
no.
You guys
Not
never
in
done that?
anyone's house.
That's why I live alone.
I have spent many years training myself to know when to flip the handle back up to where it doesn't make that huge gurgling noise. It just has enough water to push everything down, but it doesn't fill the bowl up back instantly like a normal single flush should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just goes down and there's a little mute gurgle, but there's none of that
Yeah.
and then it fills back up. So it's just enough water that I need to flush everything down and be quiet.
I feel like it's happened more with having kids to me,
Yeah.
where the kids are asleep, or
Melanie's
Melanie's asleep and she works at 4 in the morning
Yeah.
and don't want to wake her up or something like that, and I go over and I don't want to be loud, I don't want to wake up the baby, or I don't want to do this or that. I remember having so much when I was younger and sneaking, trying to sneak by my parents, and I don't want to wake them up, but
Yeah.
Well, here's go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that other than the baby thing, I think a wake up by way of flush is an acceptable sound to wake up to. Because if I woke up and I heard a flush, I'm like, first of all, it wouldn't wake me up. But if it woke someone else up, I'd be like, they have to shit. It's fine. Everybody shits. They can't help it. They
Some
shit.
people can't go back to sleep.
I'm just saying, but if I woke up because of laughter or screaming or something that was you can avoid that stuff. You can't avoid a shit. And I don't want the shit to simmer.
You can't
You know what
air
I'm
now
saying?
and you're not at your house.
So if someone woke me up
And
to,
you're
if I woke
junior
up to
high.
the sound of a flush, that'd be acceptable to me.
Gotcha.
But the baby, I understand. You don't want to wake up the baby.
I don't know, baby. Like,
You better understand
finally
why
get
it's
to sleep.
waking up. Yeah.
I have something in common with Calvin said. I have, when I've been at friends' houses, I would basically, by, quarter of an inch by quarter of an inch, centimeter by centimeter, I would, like, push the flusher down, the handle.
As slow as
So,
you could.
Yeah. And one time I was spending the night at this girl's house because she had a slumber party, like in 7th grade or 8th grade. At my, so what happened was I had this little fucking mini cup, okay? So I got water from the sink, and I kept pouring it into the toilet where I shit. Because like 3 in the morning, okay?
Yeah.
And basically enough water was in there, enough weight in the bowl itself, that it slowly flushed. And it kept slowly flushing. I kept pouring water in there. And it made no sound, baby.
That's not a bad idea.
So that's what I was thinking about earlier. Like those little...
Yeah, but what if there's like one girl up and she was like, she's listening this whole time, and you go in the bathroom and you're there for like a half hour, then you come out like all pleased with yourself, like, what the hell are you doing there?
Well, that didn't happen, but and that made me think of earlier. Well, those cups that flick out.
Yeah.
What are they called,
Yeah.
Calvin?
They're like camping cups or like folding cups.
That's why I always have one of those babies on me.
Oh, yeah.
Just whip that thing out.
Yeah, they're like in a tin. and
Yeah, people
you,
use it to keep.
They're
pills.
made of like tapered rings, and when you pull the outer ring, each inner consecutive ring would lock on the edge, so that you could pull it up, and you'd have like a little 4-ounce cup,
Yeah.
and it would hold water well enough, unless you bend it up or anything like that.
Like a toy lightsaber.
Yeah, like a toilet lightsaber.
Yeah.
But it's like the
that
size
basic
of like,
principle.
is it like the size of one of those cups you would get at like the dentist office kind of thing?
It's bigger than that.
Okay.
It's actually like when you, some of them are bigger than others, have more rings and stuff like that. But when you unfold them, they're probably about that, probably about 4 inches tall and maybe about 2.5 inches in diameter, and they slowly taper towards the bottom. So I mean, they hold a decent amount, but there's smaller ones and stuff like that for like shot glasses for like drinking out of a flask.
I'll tell you another fucking story. I was with, it was freshman year. I was at my good buddy Jared Stetson's house. He had a party, and there was a bunch of like juniors and seniors there. Okay, and fucking, there's this kid. He's one of Jared's best friends. He's a nice guy. His name is Fat Foltz. All right.
Yep.
And he's got a little brother named
He
Little.
flooded my room.
What's that?
He flooded my room.
Flooded your room.
That's a story for another podcast.
Yeah, he did. He literally created a flood in Eric's room.
He did.
What the fuck?
He's too fat.
All right. Okay. Well, he had a little brother named Little Fat Foltz.
Yeah.
That was his name?
Yeah.
Their parents are evil.
He never comes over to any parties and doesn't hang out with Jared. He's a little brother.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this party there, a bunch of shit going on. We couldn't find Little Fat Foltz anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay? So Jared's like knocking on the door into the bathroom in the basement. All right, because there's girls like, hey, we got to pee, and we're like, shit, you got to get out. And Jared's like jiggling the doorknob, getting like riling up everybody. The kid's not talking. And I'm like, oh shit, what if we fucking OD'd or some shit, okay? So Jared kicks open the fucking door. And Little Fat Foltz is on his knees, hand in the toilet, like this, pants underwear down his knees. He's like this. He's like,
Trying to unplug it.
he's trying to unplug it.
Oh man.
Shane is down on his knees on the floor, with his hand down in the toilet.
Like,
Yeah.
to his elbow. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, what's his
In
hand?
the U-bend.
Yeah, in the U-bend, and his hand, and he is low. This little kid's arms, even though he's a fat, chubby little boy, he's only in fifth grade at the time. Okay, and we're
So
freshmen.
it's fat,
we're freshmen.
chubby, and small.
Yeah, with skinny little arms. And this motherfucker has, like, his shoulders touching the water of the toilet.
Yeah.
He's reaching, grabbing that shit out of there, and right when he kicked up the door, he's like, he had this face in there, he was hand caught in a fucking toilet bowl jar.
So he had, I gotta get this right. So he had stuffed up the toilet, and he had the commitment. And this is brave of him. He went hands deep, balls deep into this toilet.
He tried plunging, it didn't work, so he fucking reached.
So he went.
He's
through the
embarrassed.
Shit.
He's
he was
embarrassed.
like Andy Dufresne going through a river of shit, right?
Yes.
Trying to get the freedom.
Yeah,
I can't believe
and
it.
we're like, what are you doing? He's like, I got plugged up, I got embarrassed. And then there's like 10 people in the doorway looking at him like, oh God!
Older girls.
Yeah, and then of course they're following him
Yeah.
around for forever.
Man, I can't imagine that happening. That'd be
Yeah.
terrible.
Wasn't he the?
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's big fat folks, and little fat folks.
Big Fat Fultz' dad.
And regular Fat Fultz is Mike.
And then there's
Little Fat
yeah,
Fultz, which is
there's
Ian.
Mama Fultz.
And they all
Baby
laugh the
Fultz.
same way. Like, I remember we were fucking, we were seeing a movie. I can't remember what it was called. But I remember they're like, when they're all laughing. They're all laughing like that.
They were all like tonally
yeah.
tuned as far as how big they were.
Yeah, and their age. Yeah. And yeah, they're a good family. They're nice people. But God, his hand was in that fucking toilet.
You know,
Yeah,
I have to
How desperate
respect.
would you have to be?
Our American society,
No,
we shame anything that has to do with bodily function.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he shits! I don't shit, he does! Ha ha! What? Everybody shits
Well,
and
think
there's
about
accidents.
fucking
And
poor,
he uses baby wipes.
this poor
Yeah.
kid sticking his whole damn arm in this toilet hole, trying to get the scoop.
I respect that kid.
I do too.
I respect the
Hey,
shit out of that
that takes
kid.
a lot.
Pun included.
Yeah.
Intended.
What sucked though is when you opened the door, his pants underwear were still down and there's
What?
shit hanging out of his ass. You know what I mean?
How?
Well, he couldn't shit more. Then
No,
you just have to
it
reach
shouldn't
into
have been
it too.
shit hanging out of
No,
that.
because what he
No.
tried
He
to
would have stuffed it up with toilet paper.
Yeah, what he did was he did it and then he flushed once and he had so much shit. He had such a shitty shit because you've done it before, Eric. You shit.
I've
What?
never stopped up the toilet without toilet paper.
No, he did do that.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there has to be more toilet paper than
He
shit.
wipes in waves. Like if I have a huge ass shit, like I don't want to plug the toilet up, I'll flush after I wipe my ass a little bit. Okay, and then
I always find the huge ass shits take less toilet paper to clean up.
That's true.
depends what kind of food you have. I guess if it's
Because they're of a more consistent and even consistency
Of shit.
of shit. That way, there's not as much
Shit.
need to clean.
The shit.
Yeah.
You,
The shit.
you know what I hate right now is that we have one toilet at the top, it's upstairs in our house where like the water doesn't really seem to fill the bowl that much. And when like Colson goes upstairs, he'll sit down and he'll poop by himself. And when he does that, it doesn't land in the water. It lands on the bowl.
Oh, it lands on the land.
I've
So
seen
then when you flush it,
there's a skid
it's
mark.
still no, it doesn't go down. It just
sticks
It's like
there.
suction cupped on there.
Yeah.
And like after a few flushes, sometimes you'll see it like
Skid.
kind of slide a bit, but it still doesn't go. Like I'll take toilet paper and try to like set it on top so that when it gets wet, it forms around it and pulls it.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I don't want to reach down there and shove it. I guess
No.
I don't really don't want to take toilet paper and shove it either.
No.
You'd be
But
fucked. You'd be,
It just takes a while, but I just hate because it just sits there. I'm like, and I flush it, go.
you'd be
It
caught,
doesn't go.
be caught brown-handed like the other
Yeah,
kid
I
was.
don't want my hand. I don't want someone. Melanie's like, "What's going on?" She walks in and I'm just, ah.
No, speaking
Just
of
shit in
Mel-
your,
speaking
shit
of
in your ass. What?
speaking of Melanie, I was thinking about this story the other day, and I wanted to tell it to my friend, but I couldn't remember the whole thing. Could you refreshify our memories?
Probably not. Which story are you trying to refresh?
I'm talking about when you were at your
us?
mom's house.
Oh my gosh.
Are you allowed to tell us one?
I don't know.
I don't think you're allowed to tell it.
I don't know if my mom fully
'Cause
knows.
I-
She had to have known some.
She knew something was going on.
She
didn't
knows
know.
you guys do it now, you're fine.
Yeah,
Just come on.
supposed to. There was this one time at my parents' house. Melanie and I were dating. I think we were fresh out of high school. I think. I don't even know if we moved into the apartment yet.
Yeah.
Like I think we were still like.
I guess we're seniors or some shit.
No, because her and I started dating again like April,
Okay.
and we graduated shortly after. And I know we never had sex until after graduation. We were at my mom and dad's house. Melanie came over. We were gonna hang out, leave, go somewhere or whatever. And my sister and my mom were there.
Your
and-
mom breaks the cardinal rule of being a
and,
parent.
and they were getting ready to leave and go to like Athens or wherever it was. And wherever they're gonna go, it's at least a half hour to get there. They do whatever
that's
shopping
great.
and stuff they need to do.
Yeah.
And there's a half hour back.
So
you
you're
know?
double. You're,
So
you're
when
double.
they
You're,
leave, you know you're guaranteed an hour.
And they know
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to leave too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bye mom,
Not
bye
before they
Brittany,
do.
you guys have a good one.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, Melanie, you ready to go? She's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, you
Wait a little
want
bit.
to wait a second? She's like, what? So we decided to just stay in the living room, and I just bend her over a chair. We're just gonna do something real quick, you know.
I'm sure it will be real
not
quick.
go real long, but as we're going through, I'm not paying attention to anything else.
Well, you got
know
an
what I mean?
hour.
You're focused.
You don't
I'm
have
like
to-
You're
watching,
zoned
I'm
in.
watching what's going on.
You're
you know,
in the living
I'm
room.
fresh
You're
out of
not
high
even
school.
worrying
This
about
is
it.
great. All
the
this stuff's
wind's
happening.
blowing through your full head of hair at that time.
right? And then I hear the sliding glass door open.
Oh shit.
Oh gosh.
There's nothing you can do.
And the way it's set up, like, there's not a lot of room. You can see in towards the living
So
room.
once you
I
open
played
the
Halo
door,
3 here.
It depends on the cut.
so
of, like,
once
how
you
you're
open
looking.
the door, you can pretty much see what's happening.
Now, there is a wall, so we could have been behind that wall slightly,
Okay.
but maybe not a whole lot. So as soon as I hear that door open, I withdraw and pull up my pants and walk away into the other room. Just leaving Melanie.
You leave this girl bent over, confused, and on display.
Well, I mean, I guess in my head I was like, it's... Okay, the worst part of this, I guess, besides leaving Melanie there alone, is that the only thing in the direction I walked was either my sister's room or my parents' room. That's the only two things.
You should have ran out going, I found it!
There's no bathroom, there's no my room, there's no kitchen, there's nothing else over there. It's only those two things.
Yeah.
So I go over there and try to pull up my pants and get a button, leaving her just there. She has her shirt on, but her pants to the floor to bend down and pull them up. And Mom comes in, and
Was your ass hanging out still?
Mine wasn't. Hers, I don't know. I'm not sure.
He never asked her.
I'm not sure how much of hers was left. Mom walked in, went over towards like her room or towards the dining room, wherever she went.
Where were you at this time? Your sister's room?
I walked away towards where my parents. There's like a little gap in between, like it's not a hallway. It's like where they would have started a hallway and it would have kept going.
They got lazy and just put rooms there.
They just put like part of a hallway that had 2 doors to it. That's all it really was.
And then they were like, "Fuck it, let's just
I get you.
put the doors here."
So I went back over there to kind of get a little bit more like
hidden
behind a wall of some sort to get my pants up and stuff. And then like, "Hey Mom," she didn't say anything. She walks in. She had gone to the bank, and I guess they were already closed.
Fucking bank.
So she came back to get money she had at home.
Hey Mom.
She grabbed it and left. And I don't know. I guess I've still never asked Melanie really like if she got her pants up fast enough or how fast.
Yeah, but later she said
left.
something about we're not running a whole. Yeah.
Later on, Mom was upset and stuff, and she's like, "I'm not running a hotel here." You know, like Melanie was over there with me, and I know she saw. She knew. I know she knows what was going on.
Of course.
And then like my sister had her boyfriend over, and they would sometimes be like in their bedroom and stuff like that. Like, so she's like, "I'm not running a hotel. People can't just come and go as they please, and this and that."
Come and go.
You know, she was a little upset about that. I think too, like that. I think the chair that we were using.
Your dad's probably like,
went
yes!
back to Rick. I think it was a chair.
Oh, no.
I think that was a chair that like Sherry had maybe, and it was gonna go to our apartment whenever we moved, and it was staying at my parents' house for the time, and then it went to our apartment, and then when we were leaving the apartment, I think Rick took it.
Oh man!
So
What
for
color
those
was
that
it?
don't know,
I don't
that
remember.
means that the chair that he bent his future wife over went to Calvin's brother-in-law.
Yeah,
Which he probably been his future wife over.
I don't want to think about
Oh,
it.
At 20.
But unless Sherry took it back, someone took it back. I don't remember who it was. But I remember we had it.
Either way,
Calvin was dejected.
I remember it couldn't rock. It couldn't lean back. It was
Not
just
when
like,
you were done with
it
it.
was a chair kind of like that. That's what it was like.
no.
Do you know which one I'm
I
talking
don't
about?
know which one you're talking about.
So was she
did
like-
Did it go back to Rick?
I fucking sat in that thing, dude.
Well, we didn't
Was she-
finish.
Yes.
We didn't finish, Calvin.
It's still nasty.
And she was the one leaned over it. It wasn't me. I didn't sit in it naked. Maybe he did. I don't know.
You just
But-
imagine the panic of she feels you leave, right? And she like for a second she's like looks back and you're not there, and she just sees what's happening, you know, and that moment in time. Like, could
She's
you imagine the
completely-
feeling of like
Betrayed.
I just left her. I know.
like you just left? He left us. He left us.
I think in my mind I was like, it's better
That's
to
not
find.
what I'm gonna do.
It's better to just find her randomly pantless
Why?
than 2 of us
No.
pantless,
You should
right?
have waved. Should have kept going and waved. Your mom
should've
came
been
up.
like- you
I
should've-
guarantee your mom would just turn around,
You
walk
should have
out.
fucking just looked at it. I don't know what that is, Mel. You better have a doctor to get.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It was probably the most awkward moment I ever had in my family. The second thing I remember happening was that her and I were on the trampoline. This was before, I think. Before that happened. We were on the trampoline, and she was just topless. And
What
we
were you doing?
We were like making out and stuff, you know? And she was
She was
topless.
topless?
I wanted to play with the boobies.
Like titties hanging out, or like her
Yeah.
shirt, or her shirt is
was
off.
it night or day?
It was day.
Her shirt was off.
Risky.
No one was home. Her shirt was off.
Oh, no one was home.
On the trampoline, the wind blowing through them titties and everything?
Yeah.
Out in the country.
And then,
Alright.
we heard a car coming down, and it was Dad
Yeah.
driving down the driveway. And
Your dad or her dad?
my dad.
Oh shit, okay,
Okay.
good.
And
You
yeah,
can now just jump up and down a couple
So
times.
the doctor came.
we weren't like jump. We were like laying on the
Sure,
trampoline.
sure. I
So,
I
like-
knew that well.
Rather than trying to like hurry up and get her shirt on, we just try to like roll up and I tried to like, lay in a position that would be kind of blocking towards the driveway, and then she could just lay there. And hopefully I can block those things. I don't know. But
maybe back then. I don't know if you have as much luck
back
now.
then I maybe could have.
I mean, where was the shirt? Was it not close by?
It was on the trampoline, but
You'd have to, like,
I thought it would bring more
sit up
attention
and,
to
like-
sit up and like try to put her shirt on, because our driveway's not long, and like once you start entering it, you can see to the trampoline.
Yeah.
She
And
just
Dad-
laid down and make it look like she was tanning.
Yeah, and then Dad like got out of his truck and he went to the house. And he never said anything. I don't even know if he looked over. We're like, maybe he didn't see us. Get your shirt on real quick. And he never, nothing. I had no idea of nothing. And then when we were working together, whatever, we talked about it. He's like, yeah, I knew you over there. I wasn't going to come over. I thought it'd be awkward.
Hey, boy, what you doing?
You and your girl, and she's naked over there. I wasn't going to come over and make things awkward. I just went home. I just went to the house. Like, all right.
He's fine there, like,
Yeah!
So, but yeah, I remember that. So, like, and that, he never said anything. He never made it awkward.
So years later, he
Mom
asked you about
found
it.
out something. He said, yeah. So, like, Dad was cool and just let it go. Mom wasn't happy.
That was
I remember
kinda
those
the-
two things.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing with my dad, my situation. And so at the time, my dad was mad, I think, but then years later, he'd be like, man, good job,
Yeah.
Like,
See-
hell, I was young once, but I was fucking all kinds of girls.
Dad wasn't even mad. Then he didn't say anything. So that's what, he just let it go.
My dad was mad because he got woken up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shane, early! You know what I mean?
This one kind of came back to me, but I remember, what grade were we in? It was definitely still, it was junior, it had to have been, no, not junior high, it had to have been elementary school. I lived out in the country, meaning that, like, there was no one close except for, like, 2 or 3 kind of kids I didn't really hung out with in school, but because they lived kind of close, we hung out every once in a while, like in the summer, right?
Because that was the
Because
only
that's
other
the
person
only
that was
kid.
there.
I didn't know that grubs were available. It was David Carroll and Gregory McIlharney. Gregory McIlharney was a similarly built man like I was.
Okay.
A little portly, but had none of the muscle, none of the strength, none of the farmness, the farm boy in him.
Yeah.
He just like this not funny, kind of creepy, gross kid, right? That lived in the country but didn't farm.
Kind of like a younger version
Yeah.
of Vincent D'Onofrio's character in Full Metal Jacket.
A little bit. It's a really good one, right?
I'm just
okay.
kind of thinking like soggy, but
Private
yeah.
Pile?
So 2 of my friends were actually over for a couple days. We were camping out, right? And we are driving to my house, and we see that a new family have moved in not 4 houses away from mine, which is like a 10-minute walk. But a new family had walked. Then they had a trampoline, and they had a girl our age who was hot, right?
It's like, oh my gosh, dream come true.
This is unheard of in our land, right? This doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We know there are hot girls. They don't live out. They don't
live
yeah,
out in
If they do live in the
Whipple.
country, not in our part of the country,
Right.
you know? And I knew that this was a godsend. But the problem is that my 2 friends, not the 2 guys I was talking about, my friends I actually like, they were there too for the next 3 days. So if I established contact, they were better looking than I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna do that. She's gonna recognize them in school next time they go to school and stuff. That can't
You
happen.
fuck, it's like Revenge
Right?
of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah. Anyway, they zero in already, right? This is embarrassing to even think of. Like, we were gonna camp out in the woods down on the farm, but instead we camped out in an empty lot next to her house, so that when she would just look out her window, there's these 3 fucking losers camping out, going, "Hey!"
Oh my god.
It's so stupid to think about now.
Shit,
Like-
I've done shit like that.
Like, she probably locked her windows, pulled the drapes.
Actually, she was really cool. And
Was she?
eventually, we never met her during those 3 days. I ended up meeting her later, hanging out on the trampoline. Awesome, right? But the day after, Gregory McIlharney wormed his way up here, realizing what happened, right? He was close by too. And I knew whoever got to her first won, right?
Oh, yeah.
The next day, I'm like, okay, I gotta get over there, because if he gets over there, something's gonna happen. Because stuff happened with me, but it can't be as consistent, because this was also during hay season. And I got busy.
Yeah.
So the next day, I wanted to go over there, and I couldn't. I had to go do hay. And the whole time I'm thinking, I bet you Gregory McIlharney's over there. And you know what? Later that evening, I went over there. As I was walking, I looked at their porch, and he's sitting on a wooden chair, and she's sitting on his lap, and they're laughing.
Ah,
And I was
fuck!
just, fuck! Kicking the
Oh,
dirt
man.
and shit.
Dude, I've
Like,
lost.
no! I couldn't do anything.
So your
Walked home.
hand- you
Like, I hate farming. I'll never farm ever again.
And then you never did.
I did. Begrudgingly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's why Eric didn't want to become a farmer.
Yeah.
Dude, I've lost some battles like that, man.
But it was like young, so it's not that big of a deal.
Oddly enough, when I was
Plus,
young,
I mean, she was only hot because she was like a 7, you know?
Okay.
Who was like the hottest girl in the world. She seemed like a 10 because there's
all these like
it's only,
tubes.
it's only me and Gregory McElharney out there.
when she got a little older,
She's super hot compared to these guys.
Yeah. No, she was hot
As it
because
should be.
she was hot because she wore a black skirt with fucking pantyhose all the time.
Okay.
It was awesome. I remember because I hung out with her a lot that summer, and then the next school year when it started, kids were getting on the bus. I got on the bus like a stop before she did, so I got on the bus, and then I remember when she got on, and this kid that was a year ahead of me that was just a dork. When she got on, he goes, "Wow, who's that?" Like really loud, and everyone's like, "Shut the fuck up, be cool, dude." And she sat next to me, and I looked around at him, looking him right in his eyes.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of other ones I have. I don't know, but you talking about the girl stuff, whatever. I remember in 2nd grade, like Melanie and I went to kindergarten together.
Which is kind of cute if you think about it.
Yeah, but like in 2nd grade, I had because like in Barlow, when we went to school, there'd be like 3 or 4 of the same class, as opposed to Bartlett, where I ended up going to like grade school at, and there was like 15 to 20 kids in one class, and that was your whole class. So like kindergarten, we were in the same class together, but then 1st grade we weren't, and in 2nd grade we weren't. But I remember in 2nd grade, I had a crush on this one girl, and I found out that she liked me too from like a mutual friend, and I figured out, okay, I'm gonna, like, she found out that I liked her, I found out that she liked me, but no one had made a move, so I'm like, I'm gonna make a move. When I talked to her, like, her best friend said I should, like, it's gonna be great. And then we were renting a house out on County Road 3, and my parents, like, they'd been renting from this one guy forever, and then he sold it to some other people that were supposedly friends with my parents, and then they had like a falling out, and something happened, and all of a sudden we just had to move. Like, I had a plan, like, next week I'm going to do this, there's going to be a dance or something like that, and yada yada. I had a whole idea, and then we had to just move.
What grade was this?
2nd grade.
You had
In
dances
the
in
middle,
2nd grade?
in the middle of the school. Yeah, there was like a school dance. It wasn't like a big thing, but there was like a
Okay.
little like gathering thing at Barlow.
You never had anything like that in all of
I never had any in elementary school.
I know Bartlett was 4th through 8th.
I guess they had to have a whole fucking school.
We had dances as a whole school.
Because there'd only be 10 people there if they didn't.
Yeah, for Barlow, I remember that. And maybe it wasn't a dance for Barlow, but there was something gonna happen. I was like, I'm gonna ask her to like just go with me and like we just hang out or something like that. Whatever it was, my parents we had to move, and they found a house and we were gonna move out to that house. And I was like, all right, and it wasn't even the same school district.
Oh,
So we went from Washington County to Athens County, and I was gonna be going to this school called Amesville.
Amesville,
man.
that I had, like,
Amesville.
Like it was worse than any school I've ever been to. It was like, I swear, like in 2nd grade there, I was learning stuff I learned in 1st grade at Barlow, and I'm like, what? What's going on? There was no
I'm
one there.
homeschooled, and I've heard stories of Amesville.
Yeah,
How bad it was.
It was terrible. Well, after being there for like 3 months or something, my mom found out that in taxes she was paying Washington County like school taxes, because we were like just over the county line.
Yeah.
She's like, well, you're gonna go back to this one then. So then I went to Cutler, which was back in at least the same school district. And going up, I always had I had that same girl in my mind. Like, there was some girls I had liked and stuff in Cutler and Bartlett, but I'm like, man, there's that one girl I was gonna like
It was
hang out
that
with.
first girl.
She was cute, and like I would see her in the yearbooks, like, man, she's right there. She's still hot. She's still hot. She's still hot. And like I finally get back to high school,
Torturous.
And you gotta plan.
I'm back with everybody. I'm like, sweet. I'm gonna figure out where she is, see if she remembers me. Well, we had like this advisee thing where like you went and they put you in groups.
Yeah.
Well, because of the way the names and stuff all worked, she was in my group.
Oh
Did
shit.
she remember your ass?
And she did, yeah. Melanie was in that group too. She remembered me too. I was like, well, this is cool. I have friends from Barlow that know me, friends from Bartlett that know me. I'm gonna know like twice as many people as anyone else does, I was like, okay, this is gonna work out. Well, she was dating another guy. Those two stayed together through freshman year and sophomore year and junior year and senior year, and I was just like, what? And I ended up getting with Melanie. We dated for like 2 months, and like after like a month or whatever, like I ended up like grabbing her hand and it started freaking her out, and then I guess she got all worried and she broke up with me. I was like,
Because
all
you're
right.
grabbing her hand?
Like, cause I started grabbing.
He's
her hand.
moving too fast!
Like we were walking, like we'd been together for like a month or so.
How old are you?
Then that was sophomore year.
Yeah.
Well,
And I grabbed her hand, and then she freaked out, and then we broke up. I'm like, all right. And then later on, I ended up dating another girl. We did it for like a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting back with Melanie. And like with you talking about like the whole I love you thing, I remember like after we graduated high school and stuff, I was like, I am not going to tell her I love you because I know what happened when I held her hand. So I'm just going to just ride this out.
Just never say
And
it.
just never say
The best thing you could have done.
I'll make her say it first.
That's good. You
You
hold
know,
off as long as possible.
I'll wait and make sure that she's good before I say anything. So I remember that specifically because I was like,
That's
I held
good.
her hand, freaked her out. I'm not saying I love you. I am not.
How'd you get her
saying
back?
I love you. How'd I get her back? I don't know. Apparently she still liked me, but she was all worried about like the boyfriend girlfriend
The
thing,
whole hand holding thing.
and whatnot.
Like defining relationship.
Yeah, like she was worried about that because before we were just like really really close friends hanging out, even though we were like dating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So she didn't want to put a label on it.
I guess, I don't know. I wasn't in band, but she was in band, and it was cold, and we were down at the football games.
So you gave your
So
varsity
she
band
like
jacket.
no, like she came over. I always wore this black leather jacket, and she came over like my hands are so cold. She's like, "Can I warm them up with like in your jacket?" She's like, "Sure." So she like put her hands like around me in my jacket.
And you're like, oh
stuff.
god.
I'm like, oh, I'm so confused by her, whatever. And then like 2 weeks later, I asked out another girl, and she was all pissed. I'm like, what?
And
You broke up with me?
Wait a minute. So she asked
Best
to
thing
put
you
her
could've done.
hands in your jacket after the breakup?
Yeah, sometime after the
So
breakup.
she's trying to warm her hands up in your hot pocket.
You put them in there, but I'm going to hold them.
It turned out the other girl, I didn't really know this other girl that well.
You drove her to compete with the other girl.
Yeah, well, it ended up being one of her friends. And
What?
They went on like a band trip, and they ended up like rooming together or something like that, and that was in her mind the whole time. You
Really?
know?
Oh my god.
Like she was like, "What? Like he's with her? Like I wanted to be with him again, and he's not picking up on the notes." And like she was mad. I remember her telling me about some of this stuff. But I remember all that stuff happening. Eventually, I broke up with the girl I was with because things weren't quite working out. She got very kind of controlling. She got into ideas of like your friends are me, like no kind of middle ground and stuff. And I wasn't
Wait,
really
what?
liking that. Ashton.
Yeah,
Like
your
this-
friends are what?
It's like my friends or her. Like
she wasn't one.
like she wasn't liking my
Yeah.
friends and stuff. Like she was getting upset about some stuff.
Oh, you're
And
gone.
I'm like, well,
Gone.
no, I don't know about
You're
that.
gone.
Like it
Gone!
took a while, but eventually I'm like, all right, I'm done. But she was really kind of
Yeah.
clingy too, so it was kind of hard. Like
Yeah.
she would just make up stories. Like she was allergic to grass, which
Yeah.
I can understand because I know some people that are. But then she was allergic to water because when it was raining outside, she's like, I can't be in that. I'm allergic. Like it's water. What do you mean you're allergic?
Yeah, it has to be treated. I read about that shit.
It-
Man,
it's
but-
extremely rare.
Man,
though.
evolution
no, I-
wants her dead.
It was like things that would just show up. Like Melanie, you know how she has that balloon thing, right? They were in like the color guard room in the band room. Like there's another room separate, like that you
They
go
have
in
their
the
own room.
You go in the
Warren?
band room, then you go in the color guard room. That's where they keep all their color guard stuff, right?
Yeah.
There, like they were getting ready for like a little birthday like surprise party for like the foster, the teacher, or whoever it was, or like I don't know who it was, someone. And they were in there blowing up balloons. It was like Ashton and like 4 or 5 other people.
Okay.
And then Melanie walked in and saw all these balloons and kind of freaked out and left, you know? And then Ashton, my girlfriend at the time, goes, I'm afraid of them too, and just leaves after sitting there and blowing up balloons for the past 5 minutes.
Why? What was the point?
Attention?
Yeah.
That's what it was. After I broke up with her, all of a sudden something happened. Like she fell and she hurt her head and she had to have me. There was this big thing. I'm kind of glad it ended the way it was. Like I cared about her and stuff, but she was just
Creep.
yeah. But anyway, I broke up with her. I broke up with her on a Wednesday, and I was like, look, we sat in a car, we did that whole kind of thing. It's terrible.
You banged in the car and you
No.
broke up with her?
Okay. We banged like 2 days before this, and then we sat in this car. That made her mad too, apparently. We sat in
Was
a
she
car.
allergic to it?
No, she wasn't allergic to it. We sat in a car and she cried, and I'm like, look, you know,
We'll still be
I
friends.
think we're done. You know, I'm okay with us
We're
being
done.
friends, whatnot. It's just not working out. Whatever. And then that was on Wednesday, and then on Sunday I went out with Melanie to like.
You must have been planting that
And you
plant.
just swinging
See,
back and
So
forth.
you did the thing that I hate when people do. You were building a fucking life raft. And when you thought that life raft was completed, you jumped fucking ship to the life raft.
But I jumped to Melanie which I felt like was where I should
Yeah,
have
but
been.
not before you fucking took the scooter around the bay a little bit longer.
Yeah,
2
you
days
peeking
before.
your
Shit.
ass out. You made
One last ride.
You made sure. You know what?
It was a Wednesday to a Sunday. Let's call it what it is. It was 4 days.
So on the Lord's Day, you took the other girl out. You know?
It may have been a Saturday. It wasn't. It was that weekend.
That's the Jewish Sabbath.
It was that weekend, and I remember like we went to Seattle's Best, whatever was in Borders, that coffee place,
Seattle's best, yeah.
and then we went and saw the Number 23 with Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Oh my
A weird
gosh.
fucking movie to see on like the
Whoa.
first like new date that we
Right
had.
after being broken
I've
up.
never
and getting
seen that
back
with
together.
Joy.
It's a weird movie.
I know. I
Right?
saw it in theaters.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah.
But then like the next day or at school, whatever, I remember hearing that Ashton found out about me going out with her and flipped out because I hate coffee. And I took her to a coffee shop. And I never went to coffee shops with Ashton.
Maybe just
I remember all
because
that
you didn't
stuff.
like her.
But the other thing I remember too, like, I made a jump ship there. But after we graduated, that girl from 2nd grade, her boyfriend cheated on her shortly sometime after graduation. And I was like, why the fuck didn't that happen sooner? This asshole. Like, it all seemed like they were meant to be together, and then he did that. I was like,
you
"Oh."
try reaching out to her like as a friend?
No, I never did. I let it go.
That's
What you doing now?
It's so
She's
extremely-
married to some guy that kind of looks like me.
Really?
Oh
yeah,
that's right. You
Like,
said that.
It's kind of see, like,
You
like, there's
won
some-
that battle
There's some
then.
resemblance that I kind of like.
Is he
I
like
kinda
looks like a better looking you or a worse than you?
I don't know.
Like it's similar, but not.
I
like,
felt
better
like
or
there was,
worse.
we had very similar characteristics in some of our like facial features and
So
stuff.
you
like
won that battle.
I don't know if I won either. I got Melanie, but no, that was like our little like relationship story, like going through.
Let me ask you another question.
Hmm.
Okay, and of course, when you're older, it doesn't matter as much. But when you were young, when could you start farting in front of a girl?
When?
Yeah, like when?
I don't know.
When were you kind of like?
I think I was with Ashton for a year and 2 months and still wouldn't like. I'd be like, fuck no, hold it. Gotta wait.
Because
I couldn't do that.
like for me, I remember a lot of girls. Like I was with a girl for 3 years, and she still like. It was like the last year. She'd be like, "I gotta fart really bad, but I don't want you to hear it, so please leave the room." And I'd be like, "No!" I'll be holding her down, and she'd be trying to hold it in, but like she was deathly afraid of it. But when I was in high school, I would try to fart in front of a girl as soon as possible. So we.
Yeah, that's what I say. You gotta set the precedent so that you don't have to constantly be hiding the rest of your life. Just do it immediately, and then start hotboxing her.
I would.
Make it a joke. Hotbox, no!
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You make it a joke, and then she does it to you, and then suddenly, if you guys are comfortable farting in front of each other, you've skipped like 3 weeks, baby.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know what I'm saying?
dude. I
You're
would
that
do it.
comfortable, you might as well just take your pants off.
I would do it to girl.
Yeah, I'm not
Holy
kidding.
shit.
That's one of my moves.
It's not a
And it works.
I-
Farting in
Right?
front of a girl is a move.
It's a move,
You
Calvin.
classify
no,
that
you
as
understand.
a move.
You understand.
Eric's
I got
right.
like 6 moves.
I
That's
mean-
one of them.
That's
It moves the boundary. I mean, it also does this thing where it's like he doesn't care.
He doesn't give a
He
shit.
doesn't give a shit. Well, not necessarily give a shit, but he doesn't care if he looks bad in front of me. And that means I shouldn't care if I look bad in front of him.
And
you
I
know?
trust him.
So then it doesn't have to be a thing where it's like, well, I haven't shaved my legs. I can't take my pants off. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you can.
All right, guys, it's been a fun, interesting,
Yeah.
and educational.
Not as long
night.
as the last one.
Yeah,
But
we
this
don't
is-
wanna
This
keep
is
it.
the end of a very late Blind Wave night.
yeah.
been a long day, but
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
It has been.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you like listening to stuff like this, go to our website, download the other podcasts, or go to iTunes or Stitcher. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. And Eric, anything else I'm missing?
Patreon.
Oh yeah, and if you also love us and want to support us, follow us on, or support us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/blindwave.
Yeah, this podcast is brought by you wonderful people
Yeah.
who have pledged.
Yeah.
Let's hit a mile
That was the
marker.
goal.
You know what I mean? Milestone, as it is.
Yeah,
Let's hit a
milestone.
milestone
Yep.
of working on weekly podcasts now. So thank you to you guys.
Yeah, because this
And
is...
if you want to pledge anything as well, make sure to go to patreon.com/blindwave. You can see our list of rewards, our goals, everything there.
And right now the podcast doesn't really have like a set day. I mean, we try to get it out like every week,
Try to we're
but
trying to
it's
get
kind
out,
of like a loose definition of like next week sometime.
yeah.
Yeah.
We usually try to shoot for like midweek.
Yeah.
Usually, so
Once right now I do work full time, but I barely can work full time. None of the other guys really work full time now. But once we can do that, then we'll be able to be like, this day,
Yeah.
8 o'clock, it's
That'd
up.
be nice.
You know?
Yeah.
Because we'll be able to sketch it out. Right now, it's
Like
just
we'll
like,
be able to get things done early
Yeah.
rather than having to render them and then immediately upload them before it's too late.
like people are always like, why does it guys take you guys so long to get stuff out sometimes? It's like, well, other reactors or if it's a reactor or something, they're just one guy, you know?
Yeah.
And they just watch it and they're done. They do almost no editing, and it's usually, not the best thing ever, but we have to wait for all 4 of us sometimes,
Yeah. Sometimes there's issues getting us all
And it's
together.
the same thing with the podcast.
Going through with editing.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. This week was kind of delayed just because of trying to get the whole crew together to do
Yeah.
our podcast. So.
yeah.
Well, anyways, thank you so much for listening. I'm Shane.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Eric.
Calvin, hit that button.
Which button?
This one.
Oh shit, there's a shit all over it.
No.
Eric!